What's up, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to the Bridging the Gap podcast. We're here visually and obviously on audio. So, those of you guys who are on audio, drive safe, enjoy your meal, enjoy your cardio session. And if you're training, I respect that. I do that sometimes. But for the guys who are on visual, I've been kind of wondering whether to do the visual side of things for a while. And, it always sort of seems weird to do it on your own, all right, how you doing? Like, just me and you, just watching this. And for a very long time, like when I watch podcasts, or at least, when I watch podcasts, that's the right thing to say. It's usually with multiple guests, and you can see them going back and forth. The camera changes, and like it kind of keeps you entertained, right? And I don't know many podcasts that are just like single people, apart from our friend Andrew Huberman. Not quite Andrew Huberman, not quite a Stanford professor. Close, but not quite. And I've been thinking about doing it for a while. So we're going to start here with me. Potentially, we'll get some guests on down the line, but definitely keen to get this podcast up and running, guys. You guys have tuned in for over 100 episodes now, which is crazy, over the last 4 years, and I'm keen to bring this back weekly because I feel like I love it, and also the response from it is incredible as well. So we're here, we out here. First of all, a little bit of an update. 2.5 weeks post show. It's not even that much. It seems like it's been much longer since I competed, but it's been 2.5 weeks since I competed, and so much has changed. Like, the goal originally before this was like, go compete in England, go compete in America 2 or 3 times, and chase down that Olympia qualification. And things changed, man. Things changed. The goals changed. And obviously, a lot of you guys probably follow me on Instagram, on YouTube. You guys already know. Like, I quit Men's Physique. I hung up the shorts, which is pretty surreal to say after 5, 6, 7, 8 years of competing in Men's Physique. Like, to say that I'm not going to be doing that again is pretty surreal. But like, I always loved Classic. I fell in love with Arnold and Classic, and the Franco and the golden era. And for me, that kind of was the initial goal. But just as an 80 kilo little natty boy from Gloucestershire and Stroud and Gloucestershire, it was never feasible. It was never possible. You know, I fucking tried, and I realized it just wasn't possible for a very, very long period of time, until I made that decision to go assisted and obviously use anabolics and pursue that dream of IFBB Pro and the Olympia with what I thought was it is necessary in using anabolics. I kind of just like grew up with the Men's Physique category, if that makes sense. Like, the standard of Men's Physique has grown over the years, and I've just grown alongside it. Like, I didn't outgrow it quick enough, because year on year people got better alongside me getting better year on year. And I've never really in my entire bodybuilding career been at that point where I've been like, I'm bigger than these guys, I can beat these guys, I can take the step to Classic. Until now, I don't think it was feasible. I don't think it was within grasp. So I couldn't even see it. So I didn't even entertain the idea of going Classic. But now, guys, after being 5, 6, maybe 7 kilos under my Classic weight cap, I appreciate what it takes to build that kind of muscle. But I also know what that kind of muscle looks like, you know, and what that could look like on top of this physique, which is what I'm focused on. So without further ado, I am now a Classic Pro. You don't need to re-qualify or anything like that, which is, I actually don't agree with that personally. I think it's kind of weird. I think you should go and win a Pro Card Classic if you want to go do Classic. Personally, I'm not going to complain. Of course, I'm not going to complain because I'm now a Classic. I can just call myself a Classic Pro. But I think probably like logically, it makes sense that you should qualify. But I don't need to. So the goals have changed, training programs have changed, the coach has changed. Oh my god, the world is on fire. I'm going to get so much words in the ether that are going to be going and flying around of what's happened here. Oh my god, there's nothing that's happened here, guys. I was with Cal for 5 amazing years. 5 incredible years that changed my life, and I have an actual YouTube video on this, so guys, I urge you to go and just check that out, just to be explaining in depth about the change and why and how. So I'm not going to bore you with that today, but instead I'm just going to say I'm with Jon Jewett. Those of you guys who don't know Jon Jewett, he is probably, in my opinion, the leading educator in the industry of bodybuilding, like specifically bodybuilding. He has almost like a university designed course for bodybuilding, from peak week to steroids to deloads to recovery to excuse me, exercise mechanics. And for me, it seemed a bit of a no-brainer. I kind of needed that little buzz in my life of just being with someone new, and like I said, go check the video out. So I'm with Jon. So new class, new coach, new country as well, which is kind of insane. So you guys also would have seen the YouTube video. Like, I left the UK. I gave up my UK residency in order to pursue a life that we dreamed of, a life that I've thought about for a very, very long time. And now, with the benefits that come with being a tax resident of Dubai, I'm going to save a lot of money, and it's going to facilitate a lot more things in my life. The ability to go to world-class gyms for my off-seasons, the ability to go to incredible places for TRT phases, to be able to explore the world, to be able to experience the world without the looming stress of next paycheck, next tax bill, next VAT bill coming, and thinking you're finally getting ahead, and then boom, slap with just disgusting amounts that you need to pay for what you feel like you don't really get back, if that makes sense. Like, for as long as I can remember, I've gone private with healthcare. For as long, I don't even know, I don't think I've ever called the police. I don't think I've ever called an ambulance. I got my school system, of course, which, you know, is flawed. Is any part of my career right now due to or influenced by the school system? No, it's fucking not, man. Like, I literally struggle when I send that huge amount of money to the government. I think, you've done nothing for me here. You know, the school did the opposite for me personally, not for everyone, me personally. Appreciate if you want to be a mathematician or an English teacher, all right, go to school. But you know what, in this day and age of social media, and specifically with what I do, it becomes harder and harder and harder to find a reason to stay in the UK. You know, the weather's poor, it's not as safe anymore. Like, here, it's safe. I can do whatever I want. You can walk out of the house whenever you want, wherever you want. Not wearing whatever you want, I was going to say, but you can just, there's no fear here, you know, along with better weather, along with a visa system that allows me to only need to be here 1 day every 6 months if I want to be. I will be here longer, but that's crazy. That means I can be here for 1 day and I can just use tourist visas to go around the world. I can be in Canada for 6 months. I can be in the US for 3 months. I can be in Bali for 2 months. I can be in Thailand for 2 months. You know, I can be in Australia for 6 months a year if I want to. Like, all these doors have now opened while being tax-free, which is crazy. Like, tax-free, I'm going to earn 40 to 45% more money, or keep. It's just mind-blowing, and it seemed a no-brainer. When you work online, when the infrastructures of my companies are on my little laptop here, there is no need for me to be there. Yes, Warner Mar has a warehouse there, so I will continue to be paying my VAT in the UK, or while I need to pay, when the people I need to pay VAT for, I will pay VAT for. But everything else, corporate tax, personal tax, my coaching company, tax-free, baby. So it's going to facilitate a lot of things in my life, which I'm super, super excited for. And all of this is to be a better bodybuilder. All of this is to get to the Olympia. All of this is to build the career and the life that I've dreamt of since I was a wee nipper. And I can't wait to just live it a little bit, you know. It feels a little bit weird right now. We've only been here for 5 days, so it kind of feels like you're on holiday almost. It just doesn't feel real that you're like, actually, this is what I do now. Like, I'm here living. So today's Tuesday, 5 days after, like I've just got over the jet lag. We're just kind of waking up at normal times, so it's like this is how I feel like the first day of work, quote unquote, although I've been sorting out my visas the last couple of days. This is like the first day where we've kind of, right, let's hit the ground running. Got consult calls today, sent up the podcast today, got YouTube videos filmed yesterday. Like we are now kind of working towards that goal, to just continually work, which is incredible. What else is new? I guess we could go a little bit about blood work. Blood work wasn't too bad coming off post-show. Gotta remember, guys, I was on blast. This is going to be horrendous for everyone listening. I was on blast from September until 2 weeks ago, which is a long old time. Like I said, and I've always said, to the people that say, how long should you be on cycle? I ain't got a clue. Check your blood work. That's what's going to tell you when you should be coming off. And when I did do my blood work 11 weeks ago, it was good, man. It was good, which is what made us jump into the decision of competing. Obviously, things went up a little bit. We introduced things that are potentially a little bit more toxic to the body, orals, for example. So they are going to push the blood work a little bit south, and that's kind of where that went, right? So then the bloods are now not perfect. They were really, really good when I went into prep. They're now not perfect. Now you can see the body probably needs a little bit of a break. Liver enzymes a little bit high, kidney filtration a little bit low, but those general wear and tear vibes of being on steroids, where you're running a super physiological body. Like you run a little 1 liter engine very, very hard. It's going to pop one day, and that is very, very similar to the body. So you need to kind of back off, and that's what we'll be doing now. So a little bit of a sports TRT phase over the next 4 to 6 weeks, and then potentially I'll drop down. I'm going to wait for John's big word, but got like 4 weeks here now in Dubai, and then me and my partner Amy are going to go on a holiday for 10 days, which we both can't wait for. It's going to be incredible. It feels like it's been so long since we have had a real holiday. We actually came to Dubai in December with the thoughts to have a holiday, and the Olympia was on, and I just was like, I need to be training right now. Like I felt like I was going backwards, so we flew back and cancelled that holiday. So we've not had a break. I've not had a break potentially since post-show last year, and Amy's not had a break in even longer than that. We've not had a break together maybe even since like December last year. Not last year, but the year before. So it's been a very, very long time, and that's got to come. Once that's done, we'll fly back to the UK for 2 weeks, and then we're going to go to Canada. We're going to go to Canada for 4 months. Pure muscles and fitness in Toronto. Why? Because it's one of the best gyms in the world, and it's my off season. Like, I want to be around winners. I want to be around Olympians. I want to be around the best bodybuilders on the planet when I'm pushing my body to the limit. And that is the kind of the plan, like over the next foreseeable future, is to, in those push phases, be in those environments where you can push hard. And when the goal isn't build muscle, and it's to actually recover, and the quality of gym and environment isn't as like heavy weighted, go to some places to enjoy the fruits of the labor while still working. You know, like there's some pretty darn good gyms in Thailand, there's some pretty good gyms in Bali, like good enough for 6 weeks. So downtime in Bali and Thailand sounds good, with a transition in Dubai to renew the visa. Good thing about the visa, 1 day every 6 months. So you can go Canada, back to Dubai, renew the visa, Bali, Of course, I'll be paying a little bit of a premium because you can't get the long-term places to stay, cars to rent and stuff, but I'm saving 45% of my wage, so it's less of a worry. I could even pay 20% more for all of those things and still be saving 20%. That's mind-blowing to me. So it's a huge year inbound, quite intimidating, quite scary, because I think it's just general life that you're not really taught to go spread your wings and fly. You're not really told to leave. You're not told to, or it's kind of like strange to leave the country that you're born, leave your family, and spread those wings. For me, my dad's always, for the last 10 years, my dad's lived abroad, so the concept is a little bit less foreign to me, which I think is probably what's helped me make the decision to move. But yeah, I mean, it's a hell of a few weeks has happened, or a hell of a few months has happened in terms of what's changed and the things that are about to come. They're going to be incredible, and I can't wait to take you all through it. In saving so much money, I've got Loki with me. You know, you guys have seen the incredible content we've been producing, Instagram, the Reels, the YouTube. Like, I don't want that to stop. I want to tell this story to inspire people, to motivate people, and doing that on your own, like with a camera like this in my face, you can't capture it as well. It's not as je ne sais quoi. It's not as you know. You need someone who can tell that story, and I can't. I'm not good enough. There are incredible YouTubers who can do that on their own. I can't, and this is just such an incredible opportunity to facilitate that movement as well. And you know, the feedback that we get from you guys is absolutely awesome, and we don't want that to stop. So that's exactly what we're going to do. That's the life update. Managing my hunger really, really well. Managing the post-show phase really, really well. Oh, stop smoking weed. Fucking hell. Been smoking. People always ask me how much I smoke. I never say it because people are weird and people get funny about it. I smoke about an ounce a week, and that's cannabis, by the way. And I've had to. Here is highly illegal, and it's not something that I'm willing to put my life in jeopardy, the future of my life in jeopardy for. So we've gone cold turkey. Today's day 5. I'd say day 1, I was sweating an ocean out at night while freezing cold. Day 2 was like a smaller ocean. Day 3 maybe like a river, and then 4 and 5 were puddles. And now I've got like droplets. So I'm hoping by like day 7 the full physical withdrawal would gone. I actually had like chronic headache the first 2 days I got here as well. So anyone who says that like being addicted, physically addicted to cannabis isn't real, like 100% is. You ain't smoked enough. Try harder. So you definitely can be. Psychologically you could be addicted as well. I don't think I'm psychologically addicted, or I don't think I'm addicted in general because I can just stop, but like I have that physical withdrawal. And actually probably a little bit of mental withdrawal those first few days. I feel much less it now. Like I was snappy, temper was a little bit more, frustration a little bit more. Couple that with coming off prep drugs, couple that with the prep hunger, like it was just like you know, it was kind of annoying. But I'm feeling pretty good now. Like the sleep last night was the best one yet. I did about 4 hours straight, toilet break, 2 hours, toilet break, 2 hours. Like that's pretty good considering like 2 or 3 weeks ago I was up like 6, 7, 8 times a night trying to pee. So there's that as well. Bit of a silly one, but people always ask me, you know, how are you going to deal with it? You just deal with it. Like, come on, it's not a big deal. I've smoked enough in my lifetime to kill an elephant, so no big deal. And I'm a big boy and I can deal with it, and I'm going to Canada where it's legal, so it ain't stopping yet. That's like the life date. I'm just going to run through a few photos, few video, a few questions for you guys, just so we can add some little bit of content here. There's some nice questions here. We're just going to start with the first one. How can you not buy booze or weed in the UAE, but you can easily get anabolics? So you can drink in the UAE. In fact, it's a drinking culture in the UAE. A lot of people think that you can't drink here. You can get absolutely mullet. There is all you can drink buffet brunches. There is bars. There are clubs. It's like normal. It's literally normal to be drunk here. So don't worry about that. Harder drugs, non-prescription drugs are no-nos. And if I'm honest, like I'm not a big fan of alcohol, and I think alcohol should be pretty restricted. Like if weed is, then it should be as well. But like that harshness of law is like what keeps it safe here, if that makes sense. And actually they've found a really good balance of like the punishments are fucking strong, so you're so scared to do them, so no one's gonna do it. In it, like, you know what I mean? Like if you're in England, right, and you wanna, like, no one's gonna steal anything from here, right? You leave your Ferrari keys down in your Ferrari, no one's gonna drop it. You put 5, like, there's all these tests online. Look how safe to buy is. They leave their Richard Milles out, their Rolexes out, and they walk away for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. They see no one steals it because the punishment's so fucking bad. Why do we do that everywhere? Like, I don't get it. Like, if you're in the UK, like, why don't we make paedophilia the death penalty? Why don't we make stealing from people the death penalty? Because you ain't never going to do it, and then you're safe. Why? It's just it's weird that there's like tiers of punishment, because people will just like, people's risk to reward is worth it. Like, why are we making their risk to reward worth it? Like, it seems kind of silly. I'm sure someone's got a very good answer for me, but the balance is really, really good here. Anabolics, easy to get here. I don't really know why, to be honest, but it just is. Is there a time you ever thought of quitting, and what made you keep going? Yeah, 100%. I think even in this prep, I remember sitting up one time in bed, and I just said to Amy, I said, like, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. This is killing me. When you get out of bed and you've got a 12, 13, 14 hour day, your cardio, your training, your steps, and then hundreds of things to do on your to-do plan, clients, all that kind of stuff, and you're just so heavy, and you're like struggling to put your underwear on, and you think, I can't do this. What gets me through it is the moments that I've achieved after those moments, and I'm fortunate enough to have achieved and understand how those moments feel. The IFBB Pro moment is probably what gets me through all of it, because I know how good that feels. You would walk through the valley of death to feel that feeling again. I've not had pure euphoria like winning that pro card since that was 2020. It's 3 years. This is the best feeling of my life so far, and it's like the best drug you'll ever take, without obviously it being a drug. And it's that feeling that you chase, and it's that feeling that gets you through it, along with an amazing support system. Like, when I said that, she goes, yes you can, get up. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I can. So combine it with knowing how strong your goal is, and put those people around you that know how strong that goal is, and you can't lose at all. Would you ever train in martial arts? If so, what would you start with? I'll probably start with jiu-jitsu. I would do, but not in bodybuilding. Like, I'm a big believer of if you want to be good at something, do it. If you want to be the best at something, only do that. I get a lot of people that say, I want to be a rugby player, but I want to get bigger. No, I want to be a rugby player, but I want to compete. I want to be a football player, but I want to compete. No. You want to be the best at something, only do that. Trust me, there is no one on this planet who will be better at one thing than the person who has done that all their life. So commit to that thing and stick to it. But when it's all said and done, bodybuilding has gone, and my goals have changed. Jiu-jitsu, because it's just like the least offensive. I don't want to be getting hit in my head like repeatedly. I don't think anyone should be getting hit in the head repeatedly unless you're making millions from it, and I definitely won't be after a bodybuilding career. So something like jiu-jitsu, which is amazing for self-defense, amazing for cardiovascular energy, flexibility, all those things. When will you reach your goal of being Mr. O? Fucking hell, big question, son. I give myself 5 years. Realistically speaking, I reckon I need a year off, compete, get on the ladder, go away and improve. Top 3, go away and improve, win. That's how I realistically see. That's what my brain sees. That's what I foresee in my future. I think if I look at the rate of gain, the rate of progress I've made over the years, that 3 to 5 year timeline is probably where realistically that happens. Hopefully it happens earlier, but that's where I think it happens, if at all. I'm very, very aware that it's a very tall order to be the single best person on the planet at that moment in time. It's very, very difficult in anything, in any discipline or any sport. So the stars definitely have to align for certain people. If you think about Brandon Curry might be one of those people, or people who have won the Olympia once. I think the stars aligned really well for those people. Unless you are a genetic phenom in CBum, in Phil Heath, who just can win and win and win and win, I think don't know whether I'm there yet. I don't know whether I'm that guy. Like, I've got to get to that level of muscle mass first to be like, yeah, I can be that guy. Odds are I'm probably not, but I do believe that the stars going to align one day, and I can do it for sure. A bit deep, but what gives you joy? Wow. That's the Owen Wilson voice. Wow. It's obviously going to sound super cliche and pretty like, well, of course it is. But just like, I get my joy out of making other people happy. Like, I get my joy out of being able to facilitate experiences and moments, like life moments for people. Like, that really, really gets me going. And I probably didn't know that until America last year. Like, I'm a pretty frugal person. Frugal means like, I don't like to like flash cash. I don't like to spend loads. Like, I'll buy what I want, but I don't like want like loads and loads of things. And I've always had that, like, I've always had a conversation with myself if I want to buy something. 3 really good reasons of why you want it, and then you can get it if you can afford it, and it's not an issue. And I think when we went to America, it was probably the first time that I said to myself, just let go. Like, just do what you want to do, and if it means that you pay for people, then that's what it is. So, you know, like, I paid for a good few meals, I paid for some of my friends' flights, I paid for Airbnbs, you know, where potentially that financial impact would have a really big impact on them, but not me. But in me doing that, facilitated us to have, and I'd like to say that they probably feel the same, life moments. Like, life moments. We flew around Tampa to Texas. We had amazing food, and I facilitated a lot of it, and I just, like, that made me feel incredible. Not because it's like, yeah, look at me, but just because, like, to see those, like, to share those bits of happiness with those people was just so fulfilling for me. So I think that I didn't know that is what filled me with joy until, like, that moment, and I think that I'm going to be chasing those moments. And that doesn't, you know, and being in Dubai is going to help me do that, but that's probably one of the biggest things for me. I've got many things that fill me with joy, which is obviously incredible, but that's one that sticks out, and that's one that's new as well. So I thought that'd be quite cool to tell there. Back to bodybuilding. Why have you brought in the bent over barbell row? So I brought in the barbell bent over row because your boy's got a shit back. Your boy's got a weak back. My erectors, lower back, that lower density, especially now that I'm doing classic, is going to get found wanting in men's physique, where I can just have my hands down. I can almost like pull my elbows down and add thickness to my lower back. But as soon as you lift that arm up, in a front dub or a rear double, the thickness of that lower back goes. And I've avoided lower back loads for the last 2-3 years. You know, hurt my back once, typical story. I'm never going to do it again. And it's probably encouraged the weaknesses in my physique when it comes to classics. So that's why, nothing crazy. Barbell row, because I think full sending into a deadlift or an RDL would be a little bit too much. So it's like a baby step towards that, if that makes sense. This guy goes, roughly monthly, yearly savings on tax now that you're in Dubai compared to, you might as well just ask how much I earn, son, and yeah, hey. Put it this way, it's a lot of money. It's enough money to warrant leaving my entire life in the UK. Not that there's loads there, like my mum is there, my car is there until July. You know, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I don't. People get funny about money. People get funny about talking about money. I'm just like, in my head, I'm going, do I just say the fucking number, or do I like hint at it? I'm going to hint at it. It's 6 figures plus, maybe even multi per year, which would be insane. Just would save in the bank. And to think that you can then, another thing which is amazing about Dubai is like, I can just use that bank card like I can a normal bank card. Like, if I want that money out of my, like, you can earn, let's say you earn £100,000 in your business in the UK, great, well done. You haven't earned that personally. If you take that 100k out personally, you pay 45% tax on it. Like, so you earn 50. So it's all good having a high revenue company in the UK, but as soon as you want to use that money, you can't, unless you can swindle away to say that it's for your business, which is just like grey area. It's just, who wants to be in the fucking grey the whole time? Like, I get asked by my accountants every month, what was this transaction for? Can you prove that this is for your business? I'm just like, fuck off, mate. Yes, it was my business. Like, I don't have to justify it, but you do. It's the law. So you get that freedom with it, and I think that's probably more alluring than the money that I save, is I don't have to constantly justify what it's for. So yeah, hope you guys don't hate me for that. We'll just do a few more. I don't want to bore you with a long one today. We'll just keep it fresh. This is a good one, because there is something I would change. If you could go back in time when you started gear, would you change anything? Now, without the risk of sounding encouraging here, I would do more, and I'd do it for longer. Like, I was 25 when I started, so for me, that's pretty old. Like, a lot of guys here, like, you think about C-Bum, he had an Olympia at 26, or Jeremy Bundy had 3 Olympias at 26. Obviously, he would have had to start gear earlier. Like, he would have had to start steroids earlier. So I think for me, where I started was perfect, but I would like to go a bit heavier, because I used 250 milligrams of testosterone. I actually think it was underdosed. I was literally at like 40 milligrams, 45 nanomoles, which is like 50, is probably like 50% higher than what I was naturally. Whereas when I do my blast now, I'm like, 250, 300% higher than when I was naturally. I did that for about 5 months, and then I prepped, but realistically speaking, I think I could have pushed it a little bit more. And in hindsight, like, if I was to take someone now, that's probably what I would do. Push them a little bit harder, a little bit earlier. And we'll leave that there, guys. We're just creeping up over half an hour here. We're going to keep these between that sweet spot of half an hour to 45 minutes, and I hope you guys kind of enjoy these, and as you kind of start listening to them, I hope you kind of get back, tune into the Instagram when I do put up the quick Q&As, and you guys can ask some really personal questions, and it gives me a bit of a chance to not just like write a paragraph and put it on there, put a picture up and say yes. It gives me a chance to kind of unpack the question and get a little bit deeper. So guys, if you enjoy the podcast, please drop a rating. Please tag me in your stories at Bridging the Gap Podcasting. Please tag the YouTube channel at Bridging the Gap. And I appreciate you guys all so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.